Anthony Hartwig, Rick Sypert here with episode 4 of Running Wednesdays here on YSN's Running Point. And man, Coach, we previewed it last week. We said you don't want to miss episode 4. It's going to be a big one. We're going to have some fun. And we have 4 right now, but we're going to be 5 special guests, all from McDonald. It is the throwing team. This is one of the highly anticipated, highly requested interviews of Running Wednesday's young career. And here we go from McDonald, throwing team, the throwers from McDonald. Everyone, how are we doing today?
Very
Amazing.
good.
So before we dive into this, I want you guys to introduce yourselves. We're going to put you up full screen from screen left to screen right, or your right to left. Introduce who you are, what class you are as well.
I'm Sierra Shiley, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Emma Bundy. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Grace Bundy, and I'm a senior.
I'm Drew Zajac, and I'm a sophomore.
And I'm Jack Record, and I'm a junior.
We are so excited that you're here. My first question for you guys, we talked about it before we hit record. McDonald is known for having good throwers. It is a tradition at this school. What has it been like for you guys to step into that role and to carry the tradition of McDonald and keep it up this year?
Yeah, we've had some very good throwers from the past years, and it's just been really great to be able to have multiple kids compete with such high intensity and against really good throwers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, high praises to Coach Mary. I mean, she's built up this throwing dynasty sort of, and it's awesome to be able to be a part of it, and to try to fill those shoes, and they're some pretty big shoes.
Like my sister just said, Coach Mary, most of the credit goes to her, and she helped us develop our work ethics, and we go hard at practice every day. We give it our all. So.
We're very blessed to have Coach Mary, and just not even with her, but a lot of great throwers like past, like Zach Gray, Danny Gray, Kyle Crown, Matthias, and Ryan Henry and Christian Smith. Just a lot of great throwers. So.
Oh yeah, and I'll stick with the Coach Mary praise too. It's all praise to her. We couldn't do it without her. But it's to say the least, it's an honor. It's a feeling that not every school gets to have such a rich tradition. So it's fun to carry along and continue it our different ways. So it's a great feeling.
Yeah, you guys were really highly recommended to get all 5 of you on. You're all having outstanding seasons, and you're all young too. One senior in the group, so we're going to be dealing with you guys for several years here in the future. Do you guys have any secrets to the craft? I mean, you guys are all putting out really big marks this year. You're throwing high 30s for the girls in the shot, high 120s. And guys are throwing well over 150 and in the 50s there for shot put. Do you have any special drills that you really favor for working on your explosiveness? You're not getting to heights like that just pounding weight in the weight room. So what are some of the tricks of the trade that you can share with some of the viewers?
We just continue to do the same drills for form every day outside in the weight room. We just continue to do footwork constantly with ladders and in the circle, and yeah.
Yeah, I'd say our regiment each day is planned meticulously as far as our dry drills that we do repeatedly. The lifts we do, the Olympic lifts for explosion, especially clean and jerk, and lifting at least 3 times a week, and yeah, fast feet footwork, lots of throwing.
Yeah, Coach Mary always plans out every lifting day and every throwing day. Some days we do heavy weight, and some days we do our regular weight more than the others. And even in rain and shine, we're out there, practicing every day.
We do an unbelievable amounts of footwork. So, once you drill that a crap ton of times, it starts to feel like muscle memory. And especially with the weight room, she knows exactly what she's doing. So we're just very blessed to have her, and she knows exactly what she's talking about. So
Oh yeah. Those rainy days, a lot of footwork and a lot of sore feet after. And then I only do track, so it's a lot of off-season lifting and throwing. But during the season, it's a very well planned out lifting schedule and a lot of just reps. It's reps and reps and reps to hammer good position.
Coach Sypert said it best. You have a lot of youth on this group, but I do want to talk to the senior in the group with, knowing that you have this last year and knowing that this is the last go around. What's it been like to navigate that and to deal with all the emotions that senior year kind of bring?
Well, I know even going into college, I'm probably not going to have another coach like Coach Mary. So trying to be independent a little bit and, making sure I do what I need to do personally at home, like stretching and just working hard in the weight room, making sure I end on a good rep every time. And, you just got to stay consistent with everything.
That consistency is very important. Throw-ins a lot, like if it's not as well known as some of the other track events, but a good thing to like equate it to would be like a golf swing. If one little thing is off your golf swing, you're not going to get as much out of your ball flight. And the same thing works with like throwing the discus or throwing the shot put. I know our throw squad always has their own tight knit group every year. Do you guys have any like pre-meet or post-meet rituals that you guys do? I know a lot of the things that our guys do, it revolves around food. So maybe things are the same over there at McDonald.
Yeah, us girls start with warm-up lap and just circle, and then we all of us throwers start with going to our own tent and putting our stuff together and just being together by the throwing areas for the rest of the day.
Yeah, there's a lot of, with the throwing rings, usually pretty close together with everyone. There's a lot of trying to hype each other up and get into the right mindset to compete because there's been some pretty good competition this year, and trying to get everyone to know what they're capable of to get in there and do well.
We also do a moment of silence at the beginning to kind of get our heads on straight, whether you use it for a prayer or like to refocus yourself. And we never let each other get down on either like on anything. We always hype each other up, even if the competition is really good.
For routine wise, like when we go to the circle, especially in warm-ups, we like to do 6 throws each. I don't know, it's something that we've always done. So just to make sure that we're hitting every single position when we're around the ring and make sure that everything's clicking in all cylinders. So.
Oh yeah, and then once we get into this postseason, the hot weather, it's important to stay out of the sun and relax. But I'm a big fan of music, so once I get Van Halen starting to get through my earbuds, I get pretty fired up pretty quickly. So it's good to keep calm in the ring, but like we said, after 6 throws, we feel pretty warmed up to compete.
Because of the success that McDonald track and field and even cross country has had over its whole career, its whole program history, the community loves you guys. The community supports you guys. I'm wondering how much you feel that, how much you feel McDonald behind you, and how much it helps you guys go out there and succeed.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of support behind us. We're able to see it whether it's at the meet or after the meet, them congratulating us. It just really gets us ready for the next meet.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. You'll have lots of teachers and just people from McDonald come to support you, whether it's at each meet or each home meet. I mean, every time there's a McDonald thrower up, because there's a lot of hooting and hollering for the person up to throw, and I think that's awesome. And like Sierra said, you come back to school the next day and everyone knows what you threw or is that your PR, and it's a really nice, close, encouraging community.
Like Emma said, there's always a lot of cheering when we're up in the ring. And yeah, we always get really excited for each other. So.
Yeah, we have an amazing community behind us, and there's always going to be love and support no matter what, Just again with like the rich history, a bunch of people always come back to the meets, and they're always supporting us, and even some of the older throwers, like their parents will come, like the Smiths, like they'll always be there, always there supporting us, and we're just blessed with a very great community and an awesome community behind us that's always there to support us. So.
Yeah, no, the support's always appreciated, and I think that's part of that tradition. You have past throwers, and you have their parents come to support that next generation. So it's a very big honor to have that support system, and all thanks to the Mitrovic family for that tradition they started. So couldn't be there without them.
Well, you guys are the standouts. You're here by request. What's some of the best advice that somebody in the sport has given you, whether it's one of your supporters from McDonald or just somebody at one of the meets that talks it up with you guys?
Best advice really is just from, there's not one specific thing, but from all of the whole track team. They really are able to just tell us to just keep throwing and be able to just stay in our own mindset, and no matter who we're up against, just do our own thing, and we know what we're able to do.
I think I got a lot of good advice from my dad and Coach Mary, because with throwing being so technical, it can be a big mental game as well as physical. Something our dad tells my sister and I is, God is with me and God is guiding me and God is helping me. And whether you don't hit that mark or that PR that you wanted that day, it's okay, because you know what you're capable of at the end of the day.
Yeah, to go off of what Emma said, I always keep that mantra going in my head from Coach Mary and from my dad. But also, Coach Mary always is big on keeping your head up high, even if you don't do exactly as good as you wanted to. Confidence.
I think of it as a law of accumulation. Day in and day out, you put in the work. The results are going to show. Not every throw is going to be your best throw, obviously, but as you keep on grinding each and every single day in and day out, the results will show, and you'll see it. It's just constant repetition, and you'll get there.
Oh yeah. I think that reps, it really shows that work that we're capable of. All five of us are capable of. And after a bad throw or after a bad meet or good meet, Coach Mary's always like, you know what you're capable of. You got there. You're almost there. So I think that hope that she sees in us, I think it's easy to get in your head, but when you hear that, it's easy to get fired up and get ready for the next meet too.
I want to hear about goals. I want to know the goals that you guys set at the beginning of the season, and maybe some goals that are still left on the board, because I'm sure you've already achieved some of them.
Yeah. My goal at the beginning of the season was just to definitely with distance be able to hit high 30s, close 39, 40, and really with my form keep my shoulders level. Punch straight up.
Yeah, a lot of high hopes for this season. I was hoping to hit around 130, 140s, which I've hit it in warm-ups a good bit, but I'm still waiting to get a mark on that. But we're close, and hopefully we're just saving it for for postseason.
Yeah. My goals are obviously, to make it to state, and both would be very cool. My goal at the beginning for shot put was hit 40 feet, and I did hit that already, so that was really exciting. And, a goal is always to stay consistent in your form and only to keep getting better from there.
During the summer, I have like this little lifting notebook, and before this football season actually started, I wrote down some goals that I wanted to hit, and in track I wanted to throw above 170 in disc and above 50 in shot, and I've been blessed enough to be able to do that, so pretty happy. But job's not finished, so just got to keep climbing after that.
Yeah, I would say mine this year especially was a little bit form goal kind of centered. I knew stuff I had to improve on for last season to achieve this season. I think I have a little bit quite well, but obviously a lot more to work on. So I wouldn't say my goals are necessarily number wise. I think with good form, big numbers will come. So I've been pretty close to matching my PR, and I set a new shot PR. So I'm closing in on 53. So I'm pretty happy where I'm at so far.
Yeah, all those marks are doing great, guys. Just keep up the good work. And again, like you said, you want the big ones to come in the postseason, so it's there. Just keep plugging away. You're going to hit some big ones when you get to districts and regionals there. One last question for me today. All the different units on a track team end up being close-knit units. What do you guys do as a throw squad to stay integrated into the rest of the quality of the track team at McDonald?
We just, whether it's before we throw or after we throw, depending on what flight we're in, we are able, hopefully we're close to the track and we're able to just cheer them on. If we hear other McDonald people cheering for people, our teammates, we're able to go up and just cheer them on and then tell them they did good after.
Yeah, again, so blessed to have the Dimitroviches. I mean, they have cookouts for us, runners, throws, little team. It's awesome to, before meets, the team prayer or moment of silence is together with everyone. And, like Sierra said, during the meet, runners will come to see throws, and when throws are done, we can go to see runners. And yeah, we try to stay close together.
Like Sierra and Emma said, we'll always cheer for each other. Whatever race is going on, if we're not throwing at the time, we'll cheer for them, and if they're not running, they'll come cheer for us. So it's a really close-knit community.
Our track team's a little bit different on the boys' side. We just like to make jokes a lot, and I think that's what keeps us really close. We like to have a lot of fun with each other. So
Fun on the bus.
like a lot of fun on the bus, on so many laughs. But yeah, we're just really close, and we're always cheering each other on no matter what. Even if like we're on deck, like we'll be turned towards the track, and we'll always be supporting whoever's running, even if they can't hear us. But yeah, it's great what we have. So
Yeah, we definitely know how to have fun, but we're also very good at keeping that switch on and off. So I think, and track's also looked at as an individual sport, but I honestly think that we're a very close team and good close 5 teammates. So I don't look at it as an individual sport. And the Dimitroviches, our coach, they do a great job of having cookouts and good bonding experiences. So I think the support's there through everyone. It's huge.
I want to hear from the Bundy sisters before we end this interview about what it's been like to share this, this experience with each other and to be able to, be on the same team for the last season of Grace being a senior and graduating next year. What's this year meant to you guys, and what's it been like to share it with each other?
I mean, it's been awesome. I mean, I'm throwing with my best friend, and these past couple. I mean, that's been awesome, and to competitive and joking with each other, but also always there for each other, supporting each other, picking the other one up when the other's down, and yeah, it's been awesome. I don't know what I'm gonna do next year. I mean, we've got a close community, but I'm gonna miss her a lot.
It's always so much fun with her, and so many people have asked us if we were twins about every meet.
Yeah.
We're twins, but we're not. Yeah, we're very good. We compete with each other, but we always build each other up. We never let each other get down on ourselves, and it's always a fun time.
Yeah.
We end these player profiles every time with the opportunity for the athlete to take the spotlight off themselves and shine on the people in their life, the people that support them, that have their backs, that they wouldn't be where they are without. So I'm going to give each of you the time that you need to give out your shout outs, give out your thanks to all the people that are in your life that support you.
My parents come to almost every meet. My sister's been to a few. All the coaches, Coach Mary, Coach Kapauko, Mr. D, Mr. Cintron, all the coaches. My grandparents have been to every single meet. All their parents are able to cheer me on. Yeah, here's my shout out.
I just thank God we're so incredibly blessed. I mean, our parents are always there supporting us at every meet and there to cheer us on, and they're there for us. Coach Mary is the best coach we could have asked for her knowledge for throwing and lifting and life, really. It's been awesome. And yeah, our grandparents are there all the time, the close McDonald community, all the coaches. They're a huge part of our success. And that's just really awesome. It's a lot of them.
Yeah. I always feel like God is with us the whole time, even if we're doing good or bad. Our parents are always there supporting us. Even of old throwers who graduated already, they come back to support. Of course, Coach Mary and Coach Jay, they come back and they're always here for us. Coach Fields, Coach D. And, I get a lot of advice from Coach Mary and my dad about the technicalities of throwing it. Sometimes Coach Jay brings us some sweet little no-bakes
Cookies.
Yeah, we've been blessed by the Lord, obviously, and just Coach Mary, Coach D, all my other coaches and all my other sports. They see something in me, and they've always believed in me, and I can't thank them enough. My parents, my grandparents, they never miss a single meet. I can't thank them enough. All the previous throwers, all my friends, and all my teammates. It's been such a blessing to have that supporting cast behind me, and yeah.
Yeah, the support's huge. Honestly, I'm not too sure where to start, but Coach Mary, Coach D, my teammates, and my parents, I know their exact spot they're at every single meet. I hear their voice. I know where they're at. And then, yeah, past throwers, Danny Gray, Kyle Crown, Dante Mediotti, Ryan Henry, Matthias Tayala, they'll be at our meets cheering us on. And that's huge. That past history and to bring it to us is exactly what I need, and I think the rest of us need for a good meet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Guys and gals, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. It's been a pleasure to have all of you on. You're all fantastic athletes. Everyone here at YSN is proud to cover you and sponsor you and be a part of your journey. We want to thank you for your time, and we wish you the best of luck the rest of the season. We can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, good luck this
Thank you,
season.
guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, that was the McDonald throwing team. Highly anticipated, highly requested. Coach Sypert, what were some of your favorite parts of that interview?
Well, I mean, the fact that they stressed over and over again that everybody in the team matters. You have to have everybody's back. I forget which one of the girls said it, but you're not always going to have your best throw, and you have to have each other's backs when you're not having that kind of a day. I mean, this is one of those sports where the highs and the lows. I know I get a text from my wife in the middle of every meet at some point, and it's always like, "How's it going today?" And I always have that answer of, "You know how it goes. You have the highs and the lows of a track meet." So it's really nice to hear that those guys have it figured out, that you have to have everybody's back at every point in time during the meets. Because once you get down on yourself in some of those situations too, you get into quicksand, and once you get in that quicksand, you don't come back from it. So the fact that they have each other's backs, that's really good, because you can go a long way, especially with the marks that those guys are putting out there this year. I totally intend to see us talking about them for the next several weeks here. So I'm pretty excited for them. And again, the rich history there, all the people having their backs, it should be a good season out of there at McDonald with the throws.
I know we heard this answer from kind of their perspective on why they think the program is so tradition based and how they've been able to be good throughout, decades of McDonald throwing and the McDonald track and field and even McDonald cross country that has its fair share of state champions. You saw the trophies behind them. Those were all track and field cross country trophies. From your coaching perspective, what's it take to have a program that is that consistent and a program that is just on top of the world every year, no matter what kids are coming in and coming out?
Well, it's really hard to continuously have a good program. Let's just face it, the Jimmies and Joes, it matters. You have to have talent. Even if you have the best coaching in the world, you have to have kids coming through. And those kids, they have to be bought into what you're selling. So your entire coaching staff matters in some way, shape, or form, because if those kids don't have the backs of the coaches and they don't believe in the message and the workouts, you're not going to have those things happen. I mean, I'm thinking about moving over to McDonald and just getting some of that water and feeding the kids over here in Boardman for that continued success. I mean, it's wild that they are just good every single year. I mean, again, it's coaching. Those coaches there are great. I've had several conversations with a lot of them over the years, and it's just they got their stuff. They know their craft. They can implement it to the kids. The kids believe in it. I mean, it's a case study for you. If you want to learn how to coach, head over to McDonald. There's runners every single year. I was just going over some of their program stats that I have available to me on the internet there today, and it's just impressive what they do every year on both sides.
I think the fact that they're a small school helps in their favor because, you see, let's say one family has a kid that's 6 or 7 years old, they're growing up. Well, their neighbor is on the McDonald track team, they're running, they're succeeding, and they go, well, let's get our kid in the track. We love our neighbor. We love this kid that we know. Everybody knows everybody. So I think that works out in their favor because it builds this community that everyone wants to be a part of this successful program that keeps, building blocks. So I think that's a big reason why too. I think champion softball for softball fans, same way. Small community, smaller school, but because they're always succeeding, the young people of that community want to now be a part of it too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they established that sense of community. If you got throwers from years coming back, not only to watch the meets, but to be actively participating and cheering, and even some of the technical work, I'm sure. I mean, they mentioned, oh my gosh, I think Gray. He's like one of the top marks in the history of the state, all divisions too. I think he's 12th, maybe. I think 12th place for overall throws of all divisions. So, I mean, they do have something that works there, and, they're implementing it, and every year you see the same continued success. So, tip of the cap to the McDonald program. You guys are killing it.
And obviously a well-respected program too, when so many coaches are coming up to us and not trying to boast their own program, but trying to say, hey, these McDonald throwers deserve the limelight. They're killing it. So obviously a well-respected program around the area, not just a talented program.
Yes, absolutely. They're one of the best ones we have every single year, and we all know that they're going to be well represented in Dayton this year.
All right, Coach, we have a lot of results to get through from the week. So why don't you go down and, shout out some of the big contributors and the big result getters over the last week since we last spoke.
Yeah, well, last week was the Trumbull County Championship, and it was a beautiful day on Tuesday and Thursday for some good tracks. So there were a lot of really fast results from that meet. The Warren Harding Raiders ended up winning both the girls and boys divisions over there. The girls, McDonald was the runner-up to Warren Harding, and then Howland was the runner-up to Warren Harding on the men's side. From that meet, Micaiah Simpson from Niles killing it still. She was the champion in the 100 and the 200 over there. She ran at 12:45 for a late April meet, so she's well on her way to do something wild there in D2 when the postseason comes. Kaylee Richards from Maplewood, she was the champion in the 800, the 1600, and the 3200. Mia Melito from Girard establishing herself. I think I told you last week that it was Hanzu's world for hurdles, and she must have heard me because she went out there and won the 300s herself, and she dropped a 46:31. I believe this is her first year really getting into the 300 hurdles. I could be wrong. I think I had that conversation with Coach Farr over at Marlington earlier this year, but to go 46:31 in the 300 hurdles your first time doing it, that's absolutely incredible and just shows you what kind of an athlete she is. She also turned around and she won the high jump and the long jump. She jumped 5'4" too. That's amazing. That's a bomb for, again, a late April meet. You're hitting 5'4" already. Nate James from Harding had a big day for the Raiders there. He was the champion in the 800 and the 3200, and he ended up taking third place in the mile over there. And again, he's going up toe to toe with some of the good distance runners there for McDonald and Maplewood. So for him to hit all three of those marks, that's a pretty big day for him. Lakeview has some really good distance runners there as well. Sprint events, they were as good as advertised. Moody from Liberty, Jackson from Harding, Jones from Brookfield, Davis from Brookfield. These guys are just constant names that we're talking about every single week, and they put on a show in the 100, the 200, and the 4x1 and 4x2 relays there. Christian Javis is throwing his hat in the ring for the 400 as well. He turned in a 49:38. Again, that's moving for late April for Christian there. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do later on in the season. And then Jones from Harding was a double winner with the long jump and the high jump over there. And of course, our throwers from McDonald were well represented. All five of them put up big points for their programs. Zajac threw the 167, Record through the 161, Grace through 38:10, Shilly through 37, and then both of the Bundy girls threw 124 and 123. So, I mean, a lot of really good things are happening over there. So we're seeing really good track happening out of Trumbull County. The other big meet over the weekend for the local teams was the Optimist, and that was over at Austintown Fitch. The Austintown Fitch boys, they're another one of those programs that is well representing the Valley for a very long time. I know Seth Steiner's killing it over there. They're clicking on all cylinders. Their boys won that meet. The North Canton Hoover girls were the champions on the women's side. Justin Saley from Fitch, I think he was a little dinged up earlier in the year. He came back and he turned in a 426 in the mile and then a 156 in the 800. So he was a double champion over there. Our boy Michael Balone, once again, turning it out. I wanted to see that race at County between him and the Fitch sprinter or the Fitch hurdlers, and he came out victorious in both the 110s and the 300 hurdles there. Stallings from Fitch was the runner-up in both of those events. Dan Evans from Fitch came back from a little bit of an injury, I believe, and he came out and won the 200. So the Fitch boys, there's something in the water over there right now for them. They're killing. I mean, hey, you gotta recognize it, man. They're killing it. They're doing a great job. Our boys 4x8 turned in an 8:03. That's a pretty elite mark right now for this time of the year. So I'm really excited to see what those guys can do. If they're able to get under 8, there's a good possibility that they'll be fighting for a shot over in Dayton there. And then the most impressive thing I saw of the day was the Austintown Fitch 4x1, the boys. They turned in a 42.69 in a late April meet, and that race was over the second the gun went off. I mean, they were so far ahead of everybody without a push. They're turning in a 42.69. You know, some really good things are going to happen for them as the season moves on here as well. Sophia Yon was the 800 champion over there. She turned in a 2:22. I think things are clicking right for her. Ava Littler from Canfield was the 100 high hurdle champion there. Deani Thompson was a 300 intermediate hurdle champion there. And then the Fitch girls, they showed up in the 4x1 as well and put on a show, running a 49.72. I mean, we're seeing a lot of really good track happening once again. So hopefully the weather stays pleasant for everybody. Everyone's able to get good training in. We stay healthy. And the Valley's going to be well represented when we get to the state meet this year. I'm pretty excited to see how all this stuff turns out for everybody.
We're getting closer and closer to postseason, and you start to talk about these athletes that keep putting up good numbers week in and week out. How important is it for a runner to, toe that line between not trying to gas themselves out before postseason, but also taking momentum into postseason as well?
Well, depending on the event that you're in, you have to have a certain amount of swagger to yourself, and then you got to be smart and take care of your body. Everyone has hard workouts, and then it's not so much what you do on the track, but what you do off of it. Are you getting your electrolytes back in your system? Are you putting good food in your body? Are you sleeping? I mean, sleep is a priority. Not only are these student athletes like getting tested, in the classroom in workouts, but they're fighting nature too. They're growing. They're still kids at the end of the day, and they're developing. Their cognition is developing. They're developing physically. So if you're not fueling your body the right way, nothing good's going to happen because of that. I mean, what's the sense of having a race car if you're not going to put the right kind of fuel in it? That's what I always tell my kids.
I like that analogy, and you have a lot of race cars in the area for sure. Coach, what's going on in the next week? What are some things we have to look out for?
This week, it's conference week. I mean, this is a big week. You're going up against your rivals in your conferences. Everybody across the Valley has their conference meets this week. The Northeast 8 is tomorrow. As you heard, the MVAC is tomorrow for the McDonald kids. The EBC, that's the Salem West Branch, they're on Saturday. AAC, we're going to be in action on Thursday here. So, again, lots of good track, and this is like the kind of like a school pride kind of week in conference week there. So we'll see how this goes. I'm excited to see how the weather holds up this week. We have some hot days, and then we have some like weird thunderstorm and lightning kind of days here. So hopefully this stuff holds off and everybody's able to get their good track meets in this week.
The good thing about track is if it's raining, you guys will go. The only thing that'll stop track athletes are the lightning and the tornado warnings. Everything else, you're good to go.
Exactly. I mean, you might not get the times that you want.
Right.
Once you get to postseason, I mean, everybody wants to see big marks, but I mean, the mantra that you kind of have, the drum you have to beat every meet is survive and advance. When you get the districts on Wednesdays, you got to be the top 8. when you get to the final on Friday, you got to be in the top 4. So if you're second place and you don't run your best, guess what? You still get some more track the following week.
Right.
So, I mean, we're getting to the point in the season where you have less focus on time, I guess you could say. It's just more about competing at this point. You know what I mean? But, I mean, everybody wants to drop those times, and it always makes us coaches feel better when, hey, so-and-so PR'd in this event and that event. But if you PR and 5 people are in front of you, you're not advancing anyway. So you got to make sure you're just able to compete at the right way at this point in the season.
With conference championship week upon us, what conference do you think is going to be the most competitive on both the boys and the girls side?
I mean, I don't want to be a homer, but the AAC meet looks really good this year. I do have Fitch out in front for both the boys and girls divisions, but if you told me any of the other teams were the champions at the end of the day, I would not have a hard time believing you. There's a lot of balance in our conference this year. Certain teams are just killing it in certain events, and other teams are killing it in other events. We also have some premier athletes that we get to watch in our AAC meet this Thursday coming up here. So a lot of good battles are going to be out there. Like I said, I think Fitch is the favorite in both of them right now. I mean, they're just clicking on all cylinders, but I wouldn't sleep on Warren Harding. They were the double champions in the Poland Invitational. They're the double champions at the Trumbull County meet. There's no reason why they can't come in and be the double champions in the AAC as well. So, like I said, it's going to be an entertaining meet this Thursday. Like I said, I really hope that lightning holds off so we get a good meet in there. We don't have any delays or anything funky happening during the time that we're over there.
Those are the most competitive meets. Is there one race in a conference tournament or a conference meet that you're really excited to see? Maybe a big matchup between this person and this person on both the boys and girls side?
I'm like I said earlier, though, the hurdle events in the AAC, I'm looking forward to. You have Hanzu from Harding, you have Thompson from Austintown, and you have Littler from Canfield. Those are 3 of the best in the area and 3 of the best in the region. All 3 of them should be throwing their hands, like their hat in the ring for a possible trip down over to Dayton there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing those hurdle races this year. Those 4x1s, like the Fitch versus Harding 4x1, I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Saley versus our own Brock Ferris and that 800 over there at conference. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, though, these meets just come down to like how much pride do you have in your school, how much do you want to win it for the people on the line next to you, and after that we go into our postseason play. So really looking forward to see how all this stuff turns out for us this season.
Coach, we're excited for it. We can't wait to see the results next week when we come back for episode 5. We'll have more special guests on episode 5 as well. And then, like you said, it's time for postseason next week. So going to have a lot of fun next week. We want to thank you for your time for episode 4. We want to thank the McDonald throwing team for their time, giving us a great interview with all 5 of those guys and girls. We thank them and wish them the best of luck, not just in the MVAC meet this week, but also postseason ahead as well. And, episode 4 in the books, Coach.
Thank you, Anthony. Have a good week. And like I said, we'll be back to talk it up for all these conference meets next week.